KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase Lenna from FF5. She is the first banner unit from the collaboration. Lenna is a cost 90 wind healer. She is in the staff black mage group with sword sorcerer and green mage as sub-jobs. She has a unique ability that can cast re-raise on herself and one other ally. Being a healer, her AI could be a bit tricky. I will go over my abilities on-off recommendations later on. My Bartz 140 showcase video is already up. Check it out if you haven't already. These are the items we will go over today. Now let's get started on Lenna. Her TMR is a cloth. It has 389 HP, 4 defense, 14 spirit and 7 crit evade. The ability is a diamond shape AoE buff around self. It grants magic up 40% and crit evade of 25 for 3 turns. The ability is actually not bad, and it does not require the unit to stand next to an ally. It could be useful for movement manipulation. Her HP and magic are among the highest for support units. Her agility is a bit low, but she has a few ways to increase it. Her weapon type resistances are 5 to slash, 5 to missile and 10 to magic. Has a whopping -15 to pierce and neutral to strike. She is a backline unit. I am not too concerned with her weapon type resistances. Her ailment resistances are 50 to poison, 50 to sleep, and 10 to immobilize. These are not the best nor the worst. However, as a healer, her faith will need to be at 97. She can be vulnerable to some nasty status effects. But she has an farmable accessory that can give her some more ailment resistances. She can equip staff, cloths, and hats. Has the basic 3 move and 1 jump, and has no way in her kit to increase her movements. Moving on to her mastery and 140 upgrades. She has the typical wind element buff. And for herself, 15% max HP up, and skill activation time down 20% for both attack and non-attacking abilities. She has a lot of activation time down in her kit. Casting time is rarely an issue for her. Her 140 upgrades give her spirit up 15, and crit evade 15. An upgrade to her re-raise ability. It will grant earth resistance 20, and elemental chain resistance of 40 when re-raise is active for both herself and her ally. My Lenna is still stuck at level 120, and I will tell you why soon. Lenna gets 2 unique equipments from the collaboration. The first one is her staff. The ability for everyone is healing power up 15. And for Lenna, she also gets max HP up 15%, magic up 30% and agility up 8%. This is her best weapon. Be sure to farm at least 1+5. The magic type is the one you want. The second equipment is her necklace. It is from the FF5 Trials of Reckoning. The general abilities are missile resistance up 10, silence, charm and doom resistance up 25. And for all FF5 characters, they also get human resistance 5 and skill activation time down 200 for both attack and non-attack abilities. I recommend at least get a magic type +5 and a barrier type if you can. Moving over to her main job support abilities. The first one gives her magic up 24%, healing power up 10 and AoE resistance 15. The second one gives her skill activation down 250 for all abilities. These support abilities need to be on her at all times. They are the best ones for her. Her main job reaction is Magic Barrier. It has a 50% chance to reduce 30% of incoming magic damage. This is situational. She has another good one in her sub-job. Next, her Limit Burst. It is an AoE heal up to 5 panels away. Recover HP large for the group and grants Protect and Shell for 3 turns. The Protect and Shell are very good. Too bad it only has 1 use. Let's continue to her main job buffing abilities. The first one has the highest AI priority. It is a cross-shape group buff around self. It gives 40 spirit to the group and hate down of 5 for Lenna. The second one is a self buff. It has the third highest AI priority. It grants her slash resistance 25 and protect for 3 turns. I usually have this buff turned off, so she would not stand still in the back. Now the rest of her main kit. The first ability on the list is the only attacking ability from her main job. It is a cross-shape AoE up to 6 panels away. Deals large damage based on her magic stat and increase her CT small. It has a cast time of 320. I honestly have never seen her use this attack even she is in range to do so. Her second ability is a diamond shape AoE heal up to 5 panels away. A medium heal to the group and grants them physical and magic damage up 20% for 2 turns. This is her bread and butter move. The AI is smart enough to use this over her LB if this heal can top off your party. It will boost your team's damage by 20%, a very good ability. Next up is another heal. This is Cure, a single target HP recovery medium. She has so much skill activation down in her kit, this is almost an instant heal. The last ability in her main kit is her re-raise. It only has one use. It grants re-raise on both herself and one ally. Both of them will also get earth resistance up 20 and elemental chain resistance of 40 when re-raise is active. This has the second highest AI priority. This ability is her main selling point, however it requires some AI manipulation to make sure she casts this. I will go over that later on as well. Now the sub part of her main job. The first ability is an AoE attack up to 3 panels away. Magic damage medium, and lower target's attack and magic by 40% for 3 turns. The other ability is another buff. It will restore 40 AP to her allies, up to 4 panels away. This is another ability that looks super good on paper, but really hard to use in reality. I have more on that later. Moving on to her Sword Sorcerer sub. The 2 support abilities are Keen Sword Craft and Earth Ward Sword Craft. You will never run these. The reaction ability is Arrow Guard. This could be useful if you are going up against Missile. I have listed my abilities on-off setting her. She has 3 attacks from this sub, but again, I have never seen her use them. The re-raise force is interesting. You have the choice to cast re-raise for herself only. Let's move on. Now her Green Mage sub. This is the sub job I usually have on her. The support abilities are Emerald Echo and Savior's Protection. Emerald Echo is interesting, it will increase her buffs and debuff duration for 1 turn. I can see this being used in manual. Very difficult to use it over her main job supports in auto PvP. The reason I use Green Mage is because of Vitalize. Not because it is a good buff, it gives agility up to an ally. It is because, with this ability on, she will move forward. Otherwise, she will stand still in the back. Now let's go over her equipments and Espers. Her staff is her best weapon with all the additional abilities. In the second slot, her necklace is a very good choice for all the status ailment resistances and skill activation time down. I personally like the white cape a lot, it has 5 agility and silence resistance as well. For her TMR slot, give her something with high agility or an instant heal if you decided not to run her cast time down support. Her best Espers are the typical ones. Bahamut, Dark Ramu, Shiva, and Siren all have good agility. Any one of the above will work fine for her. Great Demon has strike resistance. For her Truststones, I like the HP and agility sets the most. But the defense set and magic set will give her even more healing power. Her equipments have so many additional abilities, you don't need that much from her Truststones. On her defense side, I gave her TP up and luck up, crit evade up and strike resistance, then stop and disable resistance. Berserk resistance is also good. For her offense side, I gave her spirit penetration up and magic attack up, slash attack up and wind attack up. Reaction block rate up and acquired AP up. Moving on to sample teams. I have Lenna on her Green Mage sub, and both support abilities from her main job. Her reaction ability is Magic Barrier, also from her main job. This is the typical win team. Lenna is carrying Culmination as main for the 20 AoE resistance and 15% agility. It also has 10 more AoE resistance from the bestowed. Dark Ramu as sub for the magic up and some more earth resistance. Juum has the Christmas card for the 50% attack up, and Golden Ahriman for even more attack and magic resistance. On Glaciella, she has the Dark Tetra for 15 single target resistance and Ramses card for 8% additional agility. With this build, Lenna has 45 AoE resistance, 15 single target resistance and 25 healing power. A classic team with a tank, a DPS, and a support. The team works very well. Any wind DPS unit will work on this team. Glaciella is just too good, I have to use her. The second team I have prepared is the reason why I pulled for Lenna. She is supported by the Great Demon VC, which has 15% agility for Raph, Sephiroth, and Leela the Bold. As you guys might know, Raph and Sephiroth has issues dealing with Earth. I thought Lenna's re-raise with the Earth resistance buff could turn the tide. But it turns out, I was wrong. Even with Lenna, Dark still has a very rough time dealing with Dialdo and Bradley. It doesn't mean the team don't work, it just doesn't improve against Earth. Lenna's setup is mostly the same as the previous build. As a healer, all she needs are 2 agility vision cards and she can do her job. That's the thinking behind this team. Now let's move on to her ability on-off settings, and the other agility weapon type VC that supports Lenna. Besides the Great Demon VC, Iowa's card also supports Lenna. So she could possibly be on a team with Sword Warrior, that includes Bartz. And great sword users. Now her abilities on-off settings. This setup has to pair with her Green Mage, and every ability off except for Vitalize. These are her main job abilities, the order will be the same as Global. If you have all of her abilities turned on, her AI will always prioritize her group buff, the AI Priority 1 ability. And she will run around to cast it on everyone. That means if she is in range of her third teammate on her second turn, she will run over and buff this teammate instead of using re-raise. So her AI Priority 1 buff is very map dependent. If you know she will run around on a particular map, then turn off her group buff. Her AI Priority 3 ability is a self buff. If this is turned on, she will stand in the back and just buff herself over and over again. Turn this ability off. Let me go back to her main job sub-abilities, and I will also give my final thoughts. If you equip her main job sub, unless you make Lenna the slowest member on the team, she will run over to the unit with Hate, or the slot 1 unit and cast this buff. After that she does her usual group buff, by then she will not be able to use her re-raise. I want Lenna for her re-raise and the AI does not prioritize that. This ability is great on paper but needs too much workarounds to make it work. It takes away the freedom of positioning your party. It works fine on some maps if you have the group buff turned off. But in my opinion it is not worth it to change up the whole initial turn order just for 40 AP. I understand that it is too much to ask for a unit to use 3 buffs, but why do I have to turn off most of her kit to make this unit work? And she rarely attacks even if enemies are in range. I have used many different healers before, they all had their problems. But Lenna's issue is on a different level. Now my final thoughts. Lenna is a no-go. Sadali will get his 140 upgrade soon, and his Immortal Dogma will get an upgrade. It will grant re-raise to one party member and himself. It will also increase single target resistance by 20 and crit evasion up 20 while re-raise is active. Sadali might not be as good of a support as Lenna, but he brings a lot of damage. He is a superior choice. Also Ayaka exists. She has a 2-cast LB heal, full life and brings haste support. She is also a superior choice. If you are looking for a healer that can fit on all teams, Resnick or Fellas are way better. These are the reasons why I did not 140 her. She does not worth an antler. I could be wrong about her, let me know in the comment if you have a way to make her work. I will still show a couple sample matches with Lenna, let's go. The first match is the Wind team going up against Mono Lightning. Lenna's first action, Spirit up 40 for the group and hate down 5 for herself. Second action, re-raise on Jum and Lenna. Glaciella at 140 is a monster. I fell in love with her all over again. She is casting Vitalize on Jum, so she won't be too far back. Lenna's LB, a large heal and grants 3 turn protect and shell for the group. Alaya is really powerful. I recommend everyone to pull for her. Alright, the last match of the day. Dark team with Lenna going up against Monolite. In this fight, I want Lenna to cast re-raise on Sephiroth. First action, Spirit up for Sephiroth and Lenna. Are you guys seeing all DPS units with Haste TMR and Global? Feels like it is required to compete in JP. Raph casts re-raise for herself. Lenna's second action, re-raise on Sephiroth. That's Lenna's cure, helping out Raph. Stern just removed Sephiroth's re-raise. Re-raise remove is everywhere. I wonder what kind of new survival mechanic they will introduce next. Lenna's LB heal again. Large HP recovery and grants protect and shell. She is paper thin in this setup, good thing she has re-raise. That's her other diamond shape AoE heal. Medium HP recovery and increase physical and magical damage up 20% for 2 turns. When Lenna is set up right, she does her job really well. I hope they will fix her AI when she gets her MA too. I need to go get some sleep. Faris's showcase will come next. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.
まだやれるわ。